humans of the interwebs. Welcome to eSpot Live. As always, my name is Ellie. This is Rodney. Rodney appreciates everyone who's here. Yeah, happy Monday. It's a holiday today for some people. So yeah, for those of you who have the day off, hope it's going well for you. I actually have... Oh, no sound. Okay, Wolf's saying that he sees me, but there's no sound. That's problematic. But still, keep me updated. Hello. Okay, this is fun. So, actually, I did want to start off this stream with, This is making me nervous. I want to start with, disclaimers. Okay, Wolf's saying it's on now. Cool. I always start these with disclaimers, but recently I haven't had that many to share. Today I have a bunch. Okay, disclaimer number 1. There's some sort of construction or something outside that's loud for me, but hopefully not for you. I've done what I could to eliminate as much as possible, but please let me know if it gets distracting or anything like that. Another disclaimer is I'm getting a notification on my end, and it happened immediately, that the stream is not as smooth as it's supposed to be. I went ahead and ran an interwebs check, and what I've realized is that my I don't know why, and I have no clue how to fix it. So, again, if that becomes a problem for you guys, please let me know in the chat, and I'll do what I can. If I cut out and need to repeat something, I'll do that. I genuinely don't know how to smooth that out in the middle of a stream, or even not in the middle of a stream, so just keep me updated. Silly Fun is saying that the video is quite choppy, so I apologize. Not the upload speed being really slow for some reason. I'll do it. I don't know how to... I know how to test it. I don't know how to fix it on my end as a consumer. Also, it might be related to what's going on outside. So, I apologize, and heads up, and again, just let me know, because I don't want to just kind of like brush over something if I'm cutting out and you guys can't understand me. Also, sound is another disclaimer. I thought I fixed it, and it seems like I did, but I did have, in my test runs, my mic wasn't working, but then it is, so please let me know. Silly Fun is saying some internet plans have high download but medium upload. You might want to check your interwebs plan. That's a very good point. I live in a very interesting area where we have one option for internet, which seems like it shouldn't be allowed, but legitimately there is only one service that provides internet where I am located, and from what I've been able to tell, there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, usually the upload speed is at least a bit better than what it currently is. So yeah, that's what we get for doing this live and stuff. So again, I'm so sorry. There was another disclaimer, and I don't even remember what it is, because it's a Monday, and this is just how Mondays go. So just my biggest thing in all of this is if it gets to a point where it's making it unwatchable or you're missing information, please let me know. I'll do what I can to yeah, lots of disclaimers today. Also, I don't know how I feel about this shawl. This is just me getting distracted now. It's like that weird temperature where it's too cold to be in a t-shirt, but way too hot for a sweater, or like anything long sleeve that I typically wear. So here we go. Oh, okay, that's the other disclaimer. I remembered. Thank you. I don't know how I remembered, but Wolf, I want to say you keep redeeming the cutesy time, and I want to do something for you, but after a lot of research into what this cutesy time thing is, I can't do that voice thingy. I'm just not that cute. So I want to offer you some options for now until we figure something out on the official end of the spectrum. I can do a really bad Southern accent. I could do a really bad British accent. Or I can do my customer service / drive-through voice. Those are the only things I could come up with that would be a decent substitute for the cutesy time. But I definitely want to show appreciation for the fact that you're like, redeem. Alright, Silly Fun is saying, that. The shawl is cute. Looks really comfy. Okay, good. I dig that a little. Anyways. Wolf saying, I'm not sure. Bullshit, you know what I say is true. You could not be cute if you tried. I appreciate that. But I'd like the cutesy, that specific cute. I don't know. But yeah, if you decide on some sort of goofy, so again, that's, I'll do a really, I'm not saying that these are going to be any good, but I can do a really bad Southern accent. I can do a really bad British accent. And I can do my customer service. It's like a weird, bizarre, like, retail voice. Anyways, okay, so Wolf is saying, alright, let's hear the horrible Southern accent. I'm Southern. Really self-conscious about it, so I don't know how it's going to come out, but it'll smooth out a little bit as I go. Alright, so we're going to try Southern for one news topic, and that's going to be the redemption. I told you it'd be bad. Like I said, once I get a little less in my head, it'll even out at least a little bit, but it's still not going to be good. Alright, so the first thing I have to talk about today on eSpot Live is Twitch's new PogChamp emote now has a permanent representation. So if you remember a while back, I mentioned that the PogChamp, there was an issue with the PogChamp representation. Essentially, the face of the PogChamp emote, Ryan Gutex Gutierrez, used his social media account to really encourage civil unrest in the middle of a time of riots in the U.S., specifically a riot at the U.S. Capitol building on January 6th, and Twitch did not appreciate that, so they went ahead and cut that. They then jumped into a trial period where they actually switched out the PogChamp emote every day to a new face, and then they decided to run a bit of a vote on Twitter in order to settle who the new permanent PogChamp would be. So we have an official new PogChamp emote, and on Friday, Komodo Hype, who is a meme-worthy Komodo dragon, has officially become the brand new face of the PogChamp emote across the board on Twitch. Too pleased with the switch off of the PogChamp changing every day, and instead of that bringing people together, it actually caused a lot of bullying on Twitch, so that's why Twitch then transitioned to have. But yeah, so the vote happened on February 12th via an official Twitch stream. We'll see if it catches on, but for now we have a very cute Komodo dragon as the face of the PogChamp on Twitch. Alright, that's it. That's all I got for the really bad Southern accent. You're welcome. Alright, Fundamental in the chat has the Komodo dragon up. I need to update my glasses prescription because a lot of the emotes just kind of blend together. It's cute though. I like it. I like it. I mean, Rodney's cuter. I like Komodo dragons. I dig it. Alright. So yeah, for anyone who... for everyone who had to put up with that attempt at a Southern accent, please don't be offended. I am originally somewhat Southern, but like not really Southern because I'm originally from Florida, so I use like some Southern phrases and have some Southern culture, but it's also just a really weird, bizarre blend because let's be honest, Florida is really its own thing. So I can only do like a legitimate Southern accent on accident. I can't actually do it on purpose. But there you go. You're welcome for that. Yeah. Any thoughts or concerns on that new permanent PogChamp? Let me know in the chat. Right now, we've got some conversations with the different emotes available. I dig. The next topic I have to chat about is, as you're all probably aware, Trump's administration placed an attempted TikTok ban that has been, kind of, like, jumping around in the court system for a while now. So Trump used an executive order in order to ban TikTok, citing issues of national security, etc. as its reasons. TikTok came back and countersued the Trump administration due to issues of essentially challenging that he had the authority to do that in the first place. Now we have a new administration in office, and the Biden administration has essentially put out a pause on the entire thing, kind of so they can catch up a bit, which frankly is probably a really good idea. But yeah, there's been an official pause on the court battle with TikTok that has been essentially inherited from Trump's administration, term and cabinet, etc., whatever. So yeah, TikTok essentially sued after Trump issued on August 6th an executive order that barred any transaction by any person with its Beijing-based parent company, ByteDance, or any of its subsidiaries, which includes TikTok. The order officially cited concerns about national security, corporate espionage, and censorship, which is interesting, and relied upon the authority granted by what's called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. TikTok, in their countersuit, argued that the ban exceeded presidential authority, violated users' First Amendment rights, and flouted the Administrative Procedures Act because it's really arbitrary and capricious. So this battle's been going back and forth for a little while. U.S. District Judge Carl J. Nichols granted TikTok's injunction, finding that the government was acting outside its authority. The social video app is really likely to succeed on the merits of the claims already presented. And they've claimed that they would suffer irreparable harm if the ban were to take effect. So essentially, this is not a final ruling, but in a countersuit like this is brought before a judge, and the judge has to determine if it's worthy of bringing before a larger court, before a jury, etc. And so the injunction was granted, meaning TikTok brought this before a judge saying, hey, these are our issues with it, and the judge says, yes, you have a valid case, we're going to move forward with it. And that's kind of as far as it's gotten. So this has kind of really set up this government versus corporation. Fascinating, by the way. Anyone who has any interest in law, this is just like, ooh. Anywho, so essentially, in a joint status report filed on Thursday, the parties informed Nichols that the new administration is looking into the underlying issues, which could narrow or even end the dispute entirely, and asked him to stay proceedings for 60 days so it has a chance to get up to speed. So essentially, the Biden administration contacted this judge who granted the injunction and said, hey, we're not arguing with your decision at all, but can we put a pause on it so we can kind of catch up, see what's going on, and see if we even, as the government, want to continue on with this ban. Maybe possibly make some changes. Like they said, narrow that down. So essentially, if the Biden administration looks into it and sees that maybe some aspects of the ban are valid, some are not, then they can kind of switch things up a bit. So, they put forth this official request to delay proceedings, which means the official trial won't take place until later. They've got 60 days to look into this, see if it's worth pursuing, etc. So an official quote is, as the Biden administration has taken office, the Department of Commerce has begun a review of certain recently issued agency actions, including the Secretary's prohibitions regarding the TikTok mobile application at issue in this case. So this is the official filing. In relation to those problems, the department plans to conduct an evaluation of the underlying record justifying those prohibitions. The government will then be better positioned to determine whether the national security threat described in the President's August 6, 2020 executive order and the regulatory purpose of protecting the security of Americans and their data continue to warrant the identified prohibitions. The Department of Commerce remains committed to a robust defense of national security, as well as ensuring the viability of our economy and preserving individual rights and data privacy. That's the official quote from the filing. Legalese is always fun to read. So the government is also asking the DC Circuit to pause the appeal of Nichols' decision, which TikTok did not oppose. So TikTok's okay with the essentially pushing back this court case to kind of see if they want to continue on with it. Hopefully I was able to Englishify that at least a little bit for you guys. I think it's super fun. I feel bad using bad. I feel bad. I feel bad using language like that. Like, oh, court case. This is so fun. But I'm a nerd. This type of thing fascinates me, and this... I don't know what the legal precedent is of, like, government versus corporation in the banning of an app or something similar. Which makes this, for me, the first court case that I've ever seen that's quite like this, and so I think it's very fascinating. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or opinions, stick them in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm gonna catch up really quick. Wolf, going back to my comment of originally being from Florida, they say no one is from Florida. They're full of transplanted New Yorkers. It's like, it's this bizarre, it's transplant of everywhere. I remember doing an accent, or a dialect quiz or something when I was in high school, and it always placed me either somewhere in, like, the Northeast or somewhere in the West. Like, it never placed me anywhere close to the South, which is always funny. And then Wolf's also saying, I know, I lived in New York for 20 years, wife from there, I'm from South Carolina. Yeah. Accents are so fun, guys. Like, just fascinating from a how they work perspective. Anyways, that's a whole rabbit hole I could go down. And then Wolf's also saying, wow, you can breathe now. Yeah, right. Now that I'm done reading the official filing to the courts, I can take a breath. So yeah, since I'm not seeing any more comments, I am seeing a few more notifications that my stream is still super choppy, so please let me know if you guys missed anything from my babbling about a legal case. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next topic of the day, which has to do with Chappelle, specifically his show on Netflix. So this is actually super interesting for me. I'm glad that... Like, I'm loving things like this. The longer eSpot Live goes on, the more I'm seeing that things that I've addressed in the past are coming back with updates. Yay! This is exciting! This is what I'm here for! So, I talked a while ago about Dave Chappelle's comedy show being pulled from Netflix because he reached out to them and let them know that he wasn't getting paid for it. We've got an update on that. So, Dave Chappelle has officially said that his long-running beef with Comedy Central over rights to his Chappelle show is officially over. Yay! This was actually a really surprising announcement that came during a 10-minute performance titled Redemption Song that was posted to Chappelle's Instagram account late Thursday night. And the clip officially closes with the news that the sketch comedy is going to be returning to Netflix. And so it's now been made available as of the 12th. So again, just a little recap. Netflix began airing Chappelle's show on November 1st, but pulled it on November 24th after the comedian complained that Comedy Central's owner, Viacom CBS, licensed the show without his approval. So Chappelle, posted in a clip on Instagram, again, on the morning of the November 24th, saying, I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. So Netflix has been airing different stand-up specials from Chappelle since 2016. They've got a long-standing relationship and a lucrative contract with the performer, really worth tens of millions of dollars. And I think that their willingness to pull that show from their platform really shows a respect for him as a performer, and also a respect for, keeping that contract viable on all sides, I don't know if that was the proper word, but you guys know what I mean. So now it's been 3 months, right? And 15 years after Chappelle famously walked off the show that aired on Comedy Central between 2003 and 2006, we have an official full resolution. So according to Chappelle's telling, again, that aired on his Instagram, Comedy Central actually reached out to him in order to make things right. So his quote is, "Finally, after all of these years, I can finally say to Comedy Central, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. I never asked Comedy Central for anything. If you remember, I said I'm going to go to my real boss, and I came to you because I know where my power lies. So he's talking to his audience specifically in this quote, saying, "I asked you to stop watching the show, and thank God Almighty for you, you did. You made that show worthless, because without your eyes, it's nothing. And when you stopped watching it, they called me, and I got my name back. I got my license back, and I got my show back, and they paid me millions of dollars, so thank you very much." Chappelle then thanked Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos for his courage in pulling the show immediately, and Chris McCarthy of Viacom CBS for making the past right. I think that's super, super cool. This is an example of a lot of kind of behind-the-scenes politics getting wrapped up, but a performer, instead of like... I find it interesting because he didn't go to the courts. He didn't go to, you know... didn't try to find someone super powerful or super wealthy. He simply turned to his audience, explained what happened, and how he as a performer was not getting, you know, the proper income, for lack of a better word, for this thing that he did. Like, he was not actually getting compensated. That's the word I was looking for. He's not getting compensated for his work. And the people responded. Not only that, but the people responded immediately in kind of boycotting the show. Netflix, who's got this other partnership with him, responded immediately and pulled the show from the platform. And all of this led for the company that kind of had this original contention with him to reach out and make things right, which I just think it's super, super cool. It's exciting for fans who have been really wanting to see the show, but have been trying to honor Chappelle in this and not do it. So yeah, now things have been made right. He's being properly compensated for the amazing work that he's done. He's hilarious. And the show is available on Netflix. So check it out. Super cool. Yeah. That's all I got on that particular topic. So I'm going to go ahead and move right along. I've said this before, I'll say it again. A lot of what I'm learning from doing eSpot Live is that there's so much news based on rumors and leaks. And so this is an exciting little leak that has made a suggestion that people are getting super excited about. So I'll start this with a disclaimer. Because this is a leak, that means that while it might be valid, it has not been confirmed. And so until it's officially confirmed, I can't actually put it out there as like, this is 100% happening on this date. However, the leak has suggested that there are 2 classic N64 exclusive games that are coming to PS4. Super fun stuff. Heyo. Alright, so this leak comes from UK PlayStation Network app, and it says that there are 2 remastered classic N64 games that are reportedly going to be released for PS4 later this month. So the 2 games in question are Turok Dinosaur Hunter, which is a first-person shooter that was released in 1997, and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, which was released in 1998. So these are allegedly set to be released on February 25th. Both of these games were developed originally by Iguana Entertainment and published by Acclaim Entertainment. They were a critical and commercial success, selling over 1.5 million copies each by 1999. The remastered versions were developed by Night Dive Studios for Xbox One on March 2nd of 2018. So in Dinosaur Hunter, players control Turok, who's a Native American warrior who must stop the evil campaigner from taking over the universe with an ancient and powerful weapon. While in Seeds of Evil, Turok faces off against a powerful alien attempting to escape the confines of its light ship. As of 2021, Night Dive Studios, which is also due to release a remake of 1994's System Shock, as well as Sin Reloaded, a remaster of 1998's Sin, still owns the rights to the Turok franchise. So we do know that they have the rights to it. We know that they're working on some other things for sure. Again, those are official. Night Dive has not yet commented on the release of Turok and Turok 2. But the studio, we do know, is committed to remastering these classic games. So In an interview with Medium last May, Nightdive CEO Stephen Kick said, Nightdive was founded with the sole purpose of re-releasing System Shock 2, and I really didn't have any expectations on how that effort would be received. When the re-release launched, it soon became clear that we were providing a valuable service that's expanded far beyond that original vision. After that initial success, I looked at what other games could benefit from a similar treatment, and for the last 8 years, I've done what I can to recover, remaster, and re-release a variety of titles across multiple platforms. The studio's mission to revive iconic titles seems to be clear. So we can only imagine that if the leak is true, Turok and Turok 2 will be released for PS4 and by extension PS5 sooner rather than later. So crossing our fingers for that. Like I said, this kind of news is so fascinating to me because it's like, this is probably happening. And there is evidence to support the leak. Like, we know that Nightdive Studios remasters old games, and we know that they have the rights to these 2 games, so it does stand to reason that they're remastering them for modern release. But alas, we have not yet heard from Nightdive or PlayStation any official confirmation that this is most definitely happening. So, remains to be seen. But fans of these old classic games, this is really exciting news. So yeah, moving right along. Actually, I'm gonna catch up on the chat really quick. Silly Fun saying, "Oh man, Turok is a classic," and Wolf saying, "Yes, and a good one too." That's so fun. Yeah, so we might see it sooner rather than later because the estimated release, like I said, from the leak. Whenever I say leak, I literally just think of the vegetable. Specifically the one from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Anyways, according to leak, it's coming February 25th, which is very, very soon, which makes me think that maybe it's coming, but maybe not on that date because it hasn't been officially confirmed, but we shall see. This, I think, is an excellent time for a water break. So for those of you who might be newish to following my babblings on entertainment news, I like to lecture people on drinking water because water is important and you need to take care of your kidneys so your kidneys can take care of you. Everybody always suggests different liquids that they love, and I'm a huge fan of that. I love all of these things. I'm a huge proponent for, like, treating yourself and drinking your whatever it is you like to drink. However, there is a time and place for water, and this is it. It is time for water. Hydrate. Or dihydrate. And on that note, I will be right back. I was gone, I went and checked my, my streaming info, and it looks, oh gosh, it's saying that I'm dropping more frames than not, which probably means this is not the smoothest viewing experience for you guys, so I just want to come out and apologize again. As far as I can tell, there's nothing I can do about it right in this moment, aside from, like, contacting my internet provider, and so I'm sorry. Hopefully this is still informative for you guys and entertaining, if nothing else. I'll continue to kind of do what I can, I guess. I did try to, like, also look up real quick if there's anything I could do to fix it, and, nope. So yeah, Wolf saying it's all good, it's worth it. Aw, thanks. And then Silly Fun is confirming it is getting choppy, but the sound is fine. That's actually good, kind of. It's not good, because obviously we want to provide a good service for you guys, but at the same time, as long as the sound is functioning, that means the information's getting through, which is technically the important part. You just don't get to see my lovely face moving like it's supposed to be moving. So here's the thing. I hope you are getting good freeze frames. That's all I can really say to make this worth it. Alas. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and move on, unless y'all have very specific, things. Thank you for the bits, Wolf! Woo! What are they? It's a person smiling? I need to learn more about how the bits and everything work on here, but I know it's a good thing, so thank you. Alright, moving right along. The next topic I have to talk about is, Bam Margera, who a lot of people know connected to, Jackass, says that he has been cut from Jackass 4 and is urging fans to boycott it. So there's been a surprising amount of drama there. Surprising for me because I'm not as familiar with this franchise. Apparently not very surprising for people who are familiar with this franchise. So, Lad Bible went ahead and transcribed 2 different videos that Margera posted on Instagram before they were seemingly deleted, and that footage can also be found elsewhere in on different sites where they were downloaded before they were deleted. In these videos, the Jackass prankster apparently claimed that Paramount had cut him from the upcoming 4th movie. He alleged that the studio forced multiple breathalyzer tests on him, as well as requesting urine samples and filming him take antidepressants, per that report. So in his rant, I'm gonna go ahead and give a disclaimer. I'm gonna read what he's quoted as saying verbatim, and there are definitely expletives in there. So if you guys would prefer I didn't, I can whatchamacallit, edit and bleep out certain words, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and read it verbatim. He's quoted as saying, "Who the fuck cares if I'm drunk as hell anymore? Jackass has put me through hell on fucking wheels for a year and a half. I wrote them so many ideas, and if I'm not in the movie and they use my ideas, how do you think that will make me feel? The last thing I want to do is be in a courtroom with the director, Jeff Tremaine. I love him, but fuck, man. I'm not in Jackass 4. If anybody cares about me, don't go see their movie, because I will make mine way fucking radder if you just Venmo me $1. Later, Margera was quoted as saying that he was feeling a lot of pain because Jackass was everything to him. He then implored people to support him in creating his own production to rival Jackass 4, saying, "If anybody cares about me at all, then throw me a fucking bone and send $1 to this Venmo, and the more you send, the radder shit we can do, and I give everyone fucking credit for it. Like, I can't compete with their $10 million, ladies and gentlemen, but if I had that, I would blow them out of the fucking water." He likes his F words. A controversial but influential icon of the early 2000s reality TV, Jackass was originally created by Johnny Knoxville, Spike Jonze, and Jeff Tremaine. Jackass began its life as an MTV series. Enunciation is important, guys. By guys, I mean me. it began as an MTV series, running from 2000 to 2002, before it kind of shifted over to the big screen for 2002's Jackass the Movie. It was then followed by 2 sequels. So Jackass number 2 came out in 2006, and Jackass 3D came out in 2010. And then there were also some direct-to-DVD specials that were pieced together from different unused movie footage. There was the 2013 Oscar-nominated spin-off, Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa, and then Paramount announced in 2019 that a 4th Jackass installment was set for production. The original scheduled release date was March 5th of 2021. Last year, however, there was an announced delay due to the coronavirus pandemic, so it was delayed until July 2nd of 2021. And then it changed again, was delayed again, and Variety reported that the release date was now slated for September 3rd, 2021. And now, Bam Margera is claiming that he's been fully cut from the film and is very clearly upset about it. In the comments, Wolf saying that show needs to be banned anyways. I know too many teens and such that have gotten hurt reenacting that stupid show. I've heard of that as well. I will come out and say I've never seen it. It's not my cup of tea. It's an interesting premise for sure, but anyways, it's a very interesting thing. Bam Margera has kind of a history of coming out in very honest rants, or seemingly honest rants, I suppose. Dealing with issues like mental health issues, dealing with issues with drinking, etc. I personally find this whole scenario interesting because I don't know if there's been an official report from Paramount stating that he's been cut, or if this was just a private communication that they had. And it's interesting that he feels like he was mistreated by them on set by being forced to take breathalyzers and such. I think I'm trying to think of a concise way to say this. It's interesting that we've been seeing recently different cases and different scenarios where people have been cut from productions or fired from different shows or movies or films, and there's varying reasons behind it. How do I say this? If this was any other job and somebody showed up to work inebriated, it would be problematic. So on the one hand, without kind of knowing too much about the show or the history or whatever, on the one hand, it kind of makes sense that, even though it's a very different kind of field of work, but if an employee, again, shows up inebriated, it's problematic. On the other hand, this is a long-standing partnership that has been, going on for a while, and if these allegations are true, where he really contributed to ideas, plot, if it has a plot, and things like that for Jackass 4, if they use that while cutting him entirely, including crediting and everything else, then that, I can see how that would be very problematic for a creative. So yeah, that's something where, if there's additional information, or if we get to see another side of that story, we're going to go ahead and keep you guys updated on eSpot Live. But in the meantime, that's all I got on that one. That was kind of a fun topic to cover because I got to use colorful language. I mean, I technically can anyways on this show, but I don't know. That's its own topic. All right, moving right along before I get even more distracted. The next topic I have is kind of funny in a sense. James Gunn has had to publicly confirm that he is still alive after an unfortunate obituary mix-up. So, James Gunn, who is popularly known as being the writer and director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films and the upcoming soft reboot, The Suicide Squad, is still alive. In case you were concerned about that, there have been rumors and a very recent viral scare that he passed away. So for those of you who may not know, Gunn is one of the most well-known creatives behind the current superhero film and television juggernaut that has just gone crazy over the past decade. He's got a knack for writing hilarious and touching interpersonal relationships among these super friends, and it's earned him work with both Marvel and DC. And he's got a remarkable work ethic that's led to an absolutely packed schedule. Gunn wrote the entirety of a Peacemaker spin-off series just because he was bored during quarantine. I wish I had that kind of motivation, guys. And then he went on to fit it into his shooting schedule, like kind of squeeze it in between the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So he's just kind of running with it. He's very active on social media. He frequently updates fans on his work with new developments, whether he's writing or shooting, for example, keeping people updated on Peacemaker. There was a kind of scandal recently where a series of inappropriate jokes were discovered from his older tweets, and he was temporarily fired by Disney. He then, since then, has addressed and apologized for those tweets. He now uses his platform specifically to recount stories from the industry, as well as answering different questions about his films. So in a recent thread, Gunn confirmed the galaxy that Star-Lord and friends are the guardians of. He addressed many other questions about his process, as well as his involvement in the MCU films. He told fans his favorite scene in Avengers Endgame. And then most recently, Gunn took to Twitter to inform the internet that he is not dead after a confusing headline caused some of his friends and family even to mistake the announcement of an author named James Gunn and his death to refer to the writer-director James Gunn. I can't even imagine that, like, that scare. Can I just, like, for a moment, can you imagine, like, seeing that thing and thinking that you're learning of a family member's death through, like, a news article? Like, that would just be such a terrible place to be. Anyways, so James Gunn did go on to specifically pay respect to the science fiction author and editor of The Road to Science Fiction, who passed away at the age of 97. The report that kind of caused confusion was Deadline headline that reported the late Gunn's death with just James Gunn dies. So a number of people very close to the director absolutely freaked out when just kind of going through a quick read through without looking at the full article. Gunn gently suggested that maybe Deadline should have considered different wording. It is very unfortunate that the death of an esteemed author has been kind of confused with this mix-up, because not only does it cause chaos and confusion for friends and relatives and fans of James Gunn, the director and writer, but also I feel like it detracts a bit from the sad news that an esteemed author has indeed passed away. Fortunately, at, having at a... I don't want to say that there's a good time to die, and I want to be careful with how I word this, because I'm really good at foot and mouth scenarios, and I don't want to do that here, because this is sad, but I suppose, I guess a death at 97 is less shocking than, a younger death of someone mid-career. But it's definitely, important to acknowledge the accomplishments of the man who passed away. And so this has caused confusion, a little bit of chaos, etc. This isn't the first time that a celebrity death has been misinterpreted or misreported. However, the late Gunn was a prolific author. He was the recipient of an esteemed Hugo Award. It's kind of a big deal. His work will continue to outlive him. And then director James Gunn kind of tried to lighten the uncomfortable situation by recalling different times at conventions when he was presented with one of the late Gunn's books and asked to sign them. Sometimes he would kind of let fans know that it's a different James Gunn and they'd ask him to sign it anyways, but he always politely refused, which I think is a definite sign of respect. So very much alive, writer, director James Gunn will continue his busy schedule working on back-to-back features and television programs. All throughout the pandemic, it's worth noting, he has been a champion of following CDC guidelines in order to maintain healthy and safe sets, which, if you've heard any of my rants, I'm in full support of. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is set to begin production later this year in the UK, and hopefully, if all goes well, if they're able to maintain that safe and healthy set, it's going to be a herald kind of for more productions across the industry, as well as for Gunn himself. So here's to a long life for James Gunn, the writer-director, and I'd like to just also pay homage and honor to the late James Gunn, the author. That's all I have on that particular topic. And I, like I said, kind of want to at least try to avoid foot and mouth situations. So, next topic to chat about is, rumor has it, again, gonna make sure that I start with, like, this particular topic is a lot of conjecture, but exciting stuff. So, the ex-lead writer for Overwatch, Michael Chu, is reportedly working on a new multiplayer character action game for 2K Games Studio 31st Union. So, Twitter user MaroNL put together a thread looking at 31st Union's job openings. The most telling nugget of info from this comes from the senior software engineer listing, which calls 31st Union's upcoming game a, quote, multi-platform, multiplayer, character action game. So this sounds very much like a similar premise to other hero shooters, like Overwatch or Team Fortress 2. So a senior engine programmer listing also calls the game AAA, desiring a candidate familiar with PS4, Xbox One, iOS, and Android development tools. So again, very much multi-platform there. Other listings for job openings mention familiarity with Unreal Engine 4, which suggests that this is the engine the game is being built in. And what we know for sure is that ex-Overwatch lead writer Michael Chu joined 31st Union in July of 2020 and has mentioned in a blog post on the studio's website that he is passionate about creating inclusive characters and has found a studio that represents these values in 31st Union. Our mission is not only to tell diverse representative stories, but to create systems that will enable us to authentically and accurately represent underrepresented groups from around the world, and perhaps most importantly, to foster an inclusive environment where these stories are told by a broad and diverse group of creators who speak with their own voices from their own experiences. That is directly from his blog post. A writer listing as well for this mysterious upcoming game mentions that the candidate will be responsible for pitching, quote, original characters and storylines, that's kind of a given, as well as working on in-game factions to, quote, shape the future of storytelling in online multiplayer gaming. So again, this is kind of lending to that multi-platform, multiplayer, etc. There was an opening as well for a senior world/level designer that talks about the need for those experienced in online multiplayer action games in order to own map ideas from inception to completion, with the focus being on fine-tuning post-launch. The listing reads, this person can take a set of systems or player abilities and build spaces that highlight those abilities in interesting, creative ways. So that specific mention in that listing of player abilities adds to this mounting evidence that the game is going to be a hero shooter in the vein of Overwatch. Maybe. Potential software engineers will work on matchmaking, telemetry, replay, latency spikes, and more, and will need to improve network code resistance to cheating and security exploits. All of these are facets to a successful multiplayer character action game. Of course, again, I want to emphasize this game has not been officially revealed yet. Like, we know something's happening. We just don't know exactly what it is. But obviously, we're going to keep you updated as we hear more. Any official release by 31st Union, you're going to hear about through me, hopefully on a smoother stream. So yeah, there was a report in early 2020 by VG247 that, according to Take-Two earnings call, 31st Union's game was going to be revealed over the coming months. However, it's worth noting, plans have definitely been impacted by the pandemic. 31st Union is based in San Mateo, California, and was established back in February of 2019, so it's a very recent studio. This is going to be its kind of flagship game. And the studio's name was officially revealed in February of 2020. The team is being led by Michael Condrey, previously the co-founder of Sledgehammer Games. Also worth noting that elsewhere at 2K, there's another new studio known as Cloud Chamber that is working on a brand new BioShock game. So a lot of really exciting stuff coming out from this new, from new studios within 2K. So here's to hoping. It'll be interesting to see as more information is confirmed. But yeah, we shall see. There might be some new competition coming out. And Wolf saying glitch test the crap out of it, right? I think that's probably one of the reasons that they specifically pointed out that several of the positions needed to have these skills with an emphasis on post-launch updates. As I am learning from watching game developers, there are some things that you just cannot predict. You stare at the same code for years sometimes. Sometimes it's months, but oftentimes years. You stare at this game, you stare at this code, you go through the paths, and it's not until some random player tries something that you didn't think to do because you know the background of the game that you realize there's this massive bug and glitch. So yes, testing pre-launch is definitely important, but also preparing that team for continual updates, also very important. So yeah, I'm personally very excited to see what game they're coming up with. It's fun to kind of like play around and piece together ideas of what it probably is. But yeah, we shall see, and I will keep you updated. That's all I have on that particular topic. If you have thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, any of that, go ahead and stuff it in the chat. Meanwhile, that was a really awkward way to word that. I'm sorry. It's fine. Everything's fine. Meanwhile, I'm gonna move right along. So this is actually also really fun and exciting and kind of bizarre. Rick and Morty Studio is developing a new show collaborating with YouTube and YouTube personalities. So 3 Black Dot has revealed a brand new animated TV series called Alpha Betas that is going to star some of the biggest names in YouTube, specifically YouTube gaming, alongside major talent associated with shows like Futurama, SNL, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and more. This show is being helmed by the studio behind Rick and Morty and aims to achieve that same comedic style that the series gave to us. And this was reported by Pickle Rick. According to the reveal, Alpha Betas is set in a world where video games are powering life as we know it, thanks to a massive top-secret CIA program. So according to the studio, the official quote is, "The show follows an elite virtual strike force of 4 top gamers as they drop into the virtual realms of video games to fix potentially world-ending issues. Known as the Alpha Team, these 4 willfully reckless and dangerously arrogant guys are the tip of a $500 billion US government spear sent to be heroes in high-octane, pixelated worlds." The upcoming series is a collaboration of YouTubers in the gaming space. It's going to include Vanos Gaming, also known as Evan Fong, Basically I Do Work, also named Marcel Cunningham, I Am Wildcat, or Tyler Wine, there we go, and Terrorizer, or Brian Hanby. So those are kind of the YouTube gamers who have been tapped for this. 3 Black Dot is the production company working alongside Starburns Industries, who is the company behind Rick and Morty. Other talent that's been confirmed to be involved includes, but is not limited to, Paget Brewster, Stephanie Beatriz, Chris Parnell, I just hit my own hair, Brett Morin, and John DiMaggio. So they've got talent from like all over the place, well known in comedy. This is a super exciting project. Alpha Beta is a story about friendship and the camaraderie that gaming offers. This pilot episode is set to be released on March 13th on Vanos Gaming's YouTube channel. So the official release is actually going to be on YouTube. So yeah, for fans of comedy, specifically that Rick and Morty-esque, bizarre, dry humor, I don't even know how to describe the type of comedy using that. This is really exciting news. I love the fact that they've kind of pulled these, they pulled talent from, you know, a bunch of different types of comedy. And so I think it's got a lot of potential there. I'm super excited about it. So yeah, they've got, I mean, Paget Brewster is known for Friends. Stephanie Beatriz is known for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Chris Parnell, known for SNL. So like these names, they're from all over the place. And I'm just really excited to see what they come up with. I love the idea of kind of pushing boundaries when it comes to platforms as well. So the fact that this is releasing on YouTube, or premiering on YouTube, like that's kind of a big deal. So super fun stuff. I'm just going to catch up on the chat really quick. Wolf says Rick and Morty is an okay cartoon. That's fair. But I like Phineas and Ferb. I mean, fair enough. It's like I said, it's got a very unique brand of humor, for sure. But whether or not it's your type of humor, I think it's very brilliant in its own way. Panamental is saying, I've been watching those guys since I was in high school. I'm excited to see the show. The trailer definitely looks great. Here's to hoping it's good. I concur. Like I said, I love just the different people they've tapped for this on YouTube, from different shows, etc. There's just so much potential here, so... And the premise, too. The premise is hilarious. A lot of potential there. Silly Fun saying, I'm intrigued to hear about this new show, and I'm seconding Wolf's liking of Phineas and Ferb. So, yeah. I mean, ditto. Yeah. It's super exciting. I like to end on exciting notes, so that's where I'm gonna leave it for today, as far as official news is concerned. So thank you guys. Yeah, that's just... Why am I losing my ability to word? That probably sounded like a glitch to you guys. That was just me glitching. It's like a human glitch. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have for today's episode of eSpot Live. I just want to thank you guys so much. I know that this was a rough episode. I apologize again for the awkward kind of like frame dropping streaming problems. I will do what I can to look into it and see if I can get it fixed. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for taking part in the chat. Thank you for putting up with my really awkward, slightly terrible southern accent. If you guys liked that, I can do more of those. If you did not like that, sorry. Make sure, by the way, that if you want to be getting notifications about the streams on our DVSI channel, make sure in the meantime, something just happened here. I think it shut off. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm not entirely sure. Let me know in the chat if this is still happening. Penimental used the Rodney emote. Love it. I'm gonna go ahead and continue with my outro, hoping that it's working. Happy Monday, guys. Yeah, I'll be back Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, make sure that you are staying healthy, staying happy, staying awesome, and most importantly, staying devious. I'll see you guys later. Bye.